To everybody tuning in with me on this beautiful Wednesday, Hump Day Wednesday. I hope y'all are doing well on today as we are amongst the living. Remember, somebody fell asleep in death, honey. Somebody did not wake up. It is imperative that you remember that, all right? We have another day to pull ourselves together, another day to, just get it right. Everyone needs some wiggle room, all right? And God gives us more than enough. So I hope you are appreciative of this gift of life as we tap into this very brief motivation on the go with Shay on today, y'all. My motivation for today is just to remain content with what you have and where you are in life, unless it's something that is holding you back, or you're not able to operate at your best. If things are great where they are, as far as, let's say, your finances, your home, your vehicle, or whatnot, y'all be content with what you have. All right. You may not have a brand new car. You may not have a brand new house. Great morning to you, Robert. I hope you're doing well on this morning. Yeah, you may not have the latest gadgets. You may not have the newest iPhone. Although your phone isn't, the new iPhone 17, you can make calls, can't you? Although your car isn't a 2026, it still gets you to point A and point B, right? Although you may live in that studio apartment, honey, guess what? You have a roof over your head, right? Your job may not pay you tons of money, but you have income you're able to sustain. So what I mean is be content where you are, because sometimes, y'all, we throw ourselves into all types of madness because we are not content. All right. And it truly took for me really, really drawing closer to God, y'all, because one thing God does is he shifts our lives more into focus for us, and our priorities kick in, as in we prioritize what's most important. And in building my relationship with God and realizing what was most important, just like the word says, he doesn't leave any stone unturned. When he says seek first the kingdom and all his righteousness, all things will be added. He truly means all things, honey. That mind will get into order, and you'll start to view things differently. You'll make better choices, and you'll be content with what you have. Especially realizing some people don't have a home, they don't have a car, they don't have a job. And here it is, we will complain when we have at least the basics to make it. Good morning, All Heart. It's so good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. Y'all, believe it or not, a lot of people are in debt, not because they don't have the money, but they don't know how to budget. They don't know how to live within their means. How could you be making 50K plus a year, and you're facing repossessions, you are making payment arrangements on everything, and I just threw a number out there. My point is, a lot of people make enough money to sustain themselves and put some to the side. But because we're living outside of our means, because our lives are out of order, there's no way to really sugarcoat that. Where the mind goes, the body follows. Because if your that mind isn't in order, honey, your finances aren't going to be in order either. And you'll be struggling, robbing Peter to pay Paul, living one payday loan to the next. Because you don't have that proper mindset to where it's like, what? I need to prioritize things. If you make $1,200 a month, again, I'm throwing numbers out there. If you make $1,200 a month, why would you go get a space where your rent is $1,000 a month? Think about these things, y'all. Sit down and plan things out. Good morning, Tim. It's good to see you. So many people are struggling, y'all. So many people are struggling. I look at how I run my household. I take care of my 3 children. Sometimes people will call me to borrow money. And it's like, seriously? And I'm running a whole household, okay? And not only that, it could be people who make 2-3 times the amount of money that I make. How could you fall into that position? It's because you are living outside of your means. You're not content with what you have. If those shoes still look good, honey, brush those things off and wear them to your event. You don't have to always get something new. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses, because, side note, sometimes the Joneses don't even have it all together, okay? We'll be out here trying to keep up with people, honey, and they're literally robbing Peter to pay Paul, okay? And even in the event that they can't afford it, stop always looking at the next person. Because what glitters isn't always gold, honey. I'm going to tell you that right now. And you'll be chasing things. All right. Good morning, Proud Miss Shaw. It's so good to see you as always. And absolutely, Proud Miss Shaw, my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory. You're absolutely correct. God makes sure we have everything that we need, y'all. Some of y'all are falling behind. Some of y'all are lacking. And it's not because your finances aren't in order. Your mindset isn't in order. I'm going to tell you, y'all, listen, I'm always sharing a testimony with y'all so that y'all understand that God does work. Y'all, drawing close to God, I'm telling you, honey, he truly presses out all those rough edges. He truly does. And you'll find that you'll have more than enough so that you can be a blessing to the next person. That's the point anyway. You want to be a blessing to the next person. And look, when I say blessing to the next person, not someone that's just being reckless, but to someone who may truly be in need, someone who truly may need some assistance. And the truth of the matter is, there's not enough assistance out here in the world for people who truly need it, because people who have more than enough are taking it up. They need it. And that's not fair. You know, I was thinking the other day when I went and donated some old clothes to one of the thrift places here. I don't throw my children's clothes away because I keep them, I keep up with them. You know, I keep them nice and looking good. They outgrow them, you know, I pass them down. And I remember the girl saying, some of the people who come up and shop in these places, she said they have, you can tell, or should I say, maybe you can't, but you get what I'm saying. These people will have a lot. They have money. You know, they have more than enough, but they'll come to places that are trying to sell discounted items to people who need them. You see, when you make more than enough, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. But again, it's all about our mindsets. All right, y'all. It's okay. And I'm not a bank, all heart. Okay, I'm definitely not a bank. Learning how to budget your money changes your whole lifestyle. I'm gonna tell you, it will change your whole life. But a lot of people don't take that into consideration. More people are living paycheck to paycheck and you don't even realize it. You're just wasting money. Well, what happens if you get injured today? Then what? What happens if your job lays you off tomorrow? Then what? You're making all of that money, but you mean to tell me an emergency situation, you'll fall all the way under? Now, don't get me wrong. Some people are in those positions. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about those of us who are just reckless and expecting handouts. You know, you always need, or you're always behind, but it starts with self. Okay. TLC says don't go chasing waterfalls. Robert, I like that. You're absolutely right. Don't be out here chasing stuff. What are you chasing? Fool's gold? Okay. Some people truly are struggling, but from the outside, you think they have it all, so you're trying to keep up with them, you know. And then, too, again, some people just have it, and they can do it. But it's all about what we need to be focusing on. We need to be focusing on, especially if you have kids, or you don't have to have children, truly, but you want to save something for a rainy day. All right. If you're a working person, even if you put up $10 out of every paycheck, I don't know, like I said, I'm throwing out numbers out here. I'll never forget my uncle telling me one time, and it didn't make sense. He was like, always pay yourself first. You went to work. It's like, I don't care if it's $5 or $10, put it somewhere and leave it there and see how fast that'll build up. That was some wise advice. We're living in perilous times, y'all. You know, what you may be on top today appearing to have it all, but tomorrow you may fall to where you're in need. Or a true friend or loved one may be in need, and you'll have the heart space to want to help, but you can't because you haven't been doing right. And we should all want to help one another anyway, right? That's how we truly get ahead in life, is by helping and looking out for others, always putting others' needs ahead of our own. All right, y'all. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming from the Father of the heavenly rights, who does not change like shifting shadows. You are so right, Proud Mixed Child. I'm driving, y'all, so I can only glance at my phone every now and then. I'm en route to work as we speak, okay? But yeah, I'm telling you, God is going to make sure we have all that we need. He will meet all of our needs, y'all. He meets us exactly where we are. Be content. Be content with what you have. Stop looking at the next person. Stop looking over there. All right? Stop wasting your money. Okay? And I can't tell you what to do. This is just a little motivation, hopefully to motivate somebody, because we can all get reckless with spending habits and all of that. But we need to check ourselves, all right? And if you're the type that's always in a position where your money's running low, it's time to reevaluate your life. Reevaluate those spending habits. Find out where you can cut back and be willing to do so. That's another thing, all right? Even if you have to pep talk yourself, do it, okay? I'm telling y'all, it's going to come a point in time real hard, no one's going to be able to help you. Even that little loan place, they're not going to be able to loan you any money. So what are you going to do then? You need to be looking out for yourself now, all right? Trusting in God, building a relationship with God now, who will not forsake you, all right? Some of us have so much faith and trust in taking out a loan or getting advances and all of that. Those people are going to run out of money as this system gets closer and closer to where it's headed. You won't be able to get anything from them. And if you don't have that relationship with God, who's going to provide, you're going to be looking crazy. I'm telling you, you're going to be looking really crazy. So above all else, y'all, build a strong relationship with the Creator, okay? Do that first. All other things will be added to you. God doesn't need money to help you out. Baby, God will open doors you have no idea how you even got in. Hello. You'll be worried about one situation. God has already worked it out. Hello. Been there, done that. Okay. So yes, let's put our full again tongue-tied, our full faith and trust in the Creator, who's going to truly look out for us, and He will help us to shift our lives into order. All right, so that we aren't, just not content. Some people have vehicles that they own and they're in a rush to go hop into a car note. Well, what happens when you lose your job? You done got rid of the car that you got paid off. Foolish. Think about that. Be wise in these choices and decisions that you're making. Some of the people with the longest money, if you sit down and talk to some of these people, especially some old school people, they're the ones that we like to call cheapskates. Let me tell you something about a cheapskate. A cheapskate knows how to survive. And they'll be the ones in the end that you're trying to run to for help. Okay? And it's not about being a cheapskate. It's about being smart, making better choices, making better decisions, starting today. And yes, promise y'all, glitter like possessions have no real value. The real value is in their relationship with God. I'm gonna scream that from the mountaintops. That's the true value. He's gonna make sure we have all we need. He's gonna help revamp that mindset. So you think like, you know what? We don't necessarily have to go out today, and spend this $100+ on dinner. Let me go home and whip up some dinner, Or like I stated, you have clothes in your closet that you may have worn one time. Oh, I have to go get something new. I have to jump fresh for this event that I have. Well, you have something that you can wear already. Learn how to accessorize your clothing. Do you know how many different ways you can piece together outfits? Okay, you can. Different accessories. Switch up the shoes. Maybe the shirt. If you're a man, the tie, the jacket. A woman, the accessories, your shoes, on down to a sweater or a belt. Honey, you can take one outfit and, baby, turn it 20 different ways. And who will know the difference? All right? And yes, Tim, we have to make the right choices in life. It is imperative. All right? All right. And as Robert says, beloved, I wish above all things thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth. Listen, when your health is in the right place, and I'm speaking from a spiritual standpoint, is first and foremostly. The real prospering is not in the material gains, as we've, a few of you guys have said here. It's not. It's not. You'll have all you need as long as your soul is in order. You may not have the newest or the flashiest, but you will have. And guess what, y'all? You'll be content. All right, y'all. And yes, promise y'all, no one has everything and they never will. Miss T 4026. I think that's someone who's been here with a new name. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in with me on today. Shay, you're the second person I heard saying pay yourself first. I'm going to try this method. Yeah, I've tried it, Tim. As time goes on, of course, you can gradually increase the amount you give yourself. But yeah, start out small. Pay yourself. It really does work. I'm telling you, something as small as $5. $5. I'm telling you, something's going to end up coming up, and you're going to go to check where you've been putting that $5, and you have a whole $350 just from putting up $5. So yeah, my uncle is big on that. He said it doesn't matter how much money you make. My uncle says, I don't care if you're making $200 a week. What difference is putting up $5 gonna do? Okay, you're not gonna miss that $5. Put it up somewhere. And he was absolutely right. So yeah. Hey Sunshine, first welcome in. It's so good to see you on this morning. But yeah, y'all, I'm gonna have to hop on up off of here. I've actually made it into work. I'm actually parking now. But that was just my motivation on today. For some strange reason, you know, we can have so much more if we prioritize what's most important. All right, that relationship with God, who's going to help us do better with our money. No matter how much or how less you have, he's going to help us to do the right thing. And then again, you're going to be a blessing to others. And in order for God to bless us, it doesn't take money. He doesn't need currency to bless you, nor I. He doesn't need that. Honey, God will put the right person right there in your life. He uses us to be a blessing to one another anyway. You know, and I can go on about that forever, honey, with the blessings that have rained down on me. Oh my gosh, in my life in general, but especially at the hardest moments that I faced, or at some of my lowest moments when I may not have known whether I was going here or there. God looked out for me. All right, y'all. So I got to get on up off of here. Hey Hood, welcome in. I see you just crept in. I'm getting ready to close out, but thank y'all so much for tuning in. If I missed you and I didn't speak to you, my apologies. All right, I was driving. I can only glance down here and there, but I thank y'all for tuning in with me on today. And again, remember y'all, be content with what you have. Be content with what you have. And we can put that in regards to even friendships, relationships. Remember, Satan is a trickster. All right. He's a trickster. We're spiritual beings. Okay. All right. And one way to detect what's going on spiritually is by being connected to God, so that we're not fighting one another, you know, warring off on one another. It's a spiritual thing. When you're connected to God and you're in tune with your spirit, honey, we know how to fight this thing the right way. And we will continuously do what? We will continuously prosper. No one can take that away from us. And I'm gonna start talking about something else if I don't hop up off of here, y'all. Let me get out of here and go clock in. But thank y'all so much for tuning in with me once again. If you didn't hit the like button coming in, do me a favor, hit that bad boy on your way out. All right. And I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Thanks for all the comments again. I'm sorry I didn't get to glance at all of them, but I'll be back soon and we'll chop it up, guys. All right. Peace out. Talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.